Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jules. If you're new here, you're joining at a great time because today's video is all about doing a mid-year reset. We're just gonna check in on the goals that we set for the beginning of this year and just kind of see how we're doing so far. For the entire month of June, we're gonna be focusing on this idea of resetting, realigning, and just shifting ourselves to set ourselves up for a really great rest of the year. If you joined me for the Calm and Collected New Year Challenge, we are gonna be going through our life audit. And again, if this is your first time joining, you can jump right in, no need to catch up. I'll link it all below so you can print out your own and fill it out. There's a Notion link which is gonna have journal prompts and just keep you up to date with the schedule of the videos coming out this month. Before we dive into all of that, I also wanna share that I'm now on Vibely, which is a really fun community where we can go through these weekly challenges and prompts together and support one another. I'll link the Vibely group below, but we will be doing some really exciting things with that community, including a virtual live hangout. So be sure to check all that out, join the Vibely group, and we can hang face to face through the screen. Be sure to hit subscribe, like this video, and thank you all for joining me on this mid-year reset. All right, let's do this. First things first, I'm gonna print out my life audit. You can grab yours from the description of this video. And if you have your life audit from the beginning of this year, then grab that as well, but just put it to the side. Don't look at it yet. When I go through my life audit or do any kind of journaling, I like to set the tone. So I put my phone away, all my devices are on do not disturb mode, my door is closed, my desk is tidy, and I like to pick out my favorite pen. I create an environment so I can really tap in and let my thoughts flow freely. I do my best to resist the urge to self-edit. I try to show up as truthfully as possible. It's hard enough being vulnerable with another person, but ironically, I feel like it's even harder to be vulnerable with yourself. If you're feeling like you're not where you thought you'd be at this point in the year, that's okay. I want to remind you that whatever goals you set, they're not static. The goals you set at the beginning of this year are allowed to shift and change with you. You might realize that some of the goals you set at the beginning of the year are no longer aligned with you and you want to shift it, change it, cancel it. You're allowed to do that. At the same time, if you have been able to make progress on some of your goals, definitely take the time to celebrate that. At first glance, when comparing my life audit from the end of 2020 till now, there's definitely been some improvement across the board. What jumps out most to me is that I scored a 5 in recreation, and so when I went into this new year, I really wanted to focus on having more fun, exploring new hobbies, and I increased that level of satisfaction to a 7. Because I prioritized recreation and just having more fun on the weekends, unplugging, no strings attached, I've been happier, healthier, more active, my relationship with Andrew has been great, all the different areas of my life have benefited from this ripple effect, and it feels really good to see this visual representation of how I felt then versus how I feel now. All right, now let's head over to Notion and we can go through the goals that we set. Hello, I am back in the little circle and I've got my iced matcha and I'm ready to show you how I'm doing on my goals that I set for 2021. These are my personal goals and I've got journal prompts for you that I've linked in the little Notion mid-year reset challenge hub. These journal prompts are gonna help you get realigned so you can see what's working, what's not, and what goals might need to shift and change depending on how you're feeling at this point in the year. My hope in sharing this with you is that it will inspire you to wanna talk about your goals out loud. Share them with your friends, your family, share them with friends on the internet, because the more you can talk about your goals, the more you can speak these goals into existence, and it'll get you closer to doing more things that bring you joy and bring you more growth. Without further ado, I'm gonna just hop right in. This is my yearly planning doc. I have this template linked in my shared Notion hub. It looks a little bit different from the Calm and Collected New Year Challenge, but I have updated it in that hub if you wanted to grab the updated version. Basically, the difference is that I have linked my 2021 goals in a table versus just listing it out as like a to-do list. So that way I'm able to sort things the way I'm about to show you right now. So, as you can see, these are all the goals that I set for 2021. I've got them categorized by Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, ongoing goals, and then I have my status, and I also labeled which goals are my top goals. Right now, my goals are filtered to show you everything, so all the goals that I set for both my personal life and my business, but I'm gonna focus more on the top goals for now. I set 5 top goals for my business and 5 top goals for my personal life. So that's what you're seeing here. At a glance, you can see that I finished all 4 of the goals that I set in Q1. So that's record a guided meditation on Insight Timer in YouTube, which I did. I would definitely love to continue doing that, but I am proud of myself for actually taking action and doing the first step, which is uploading the very first meditation. Second thing I did was launch Truebelly, our app that we've been working on for 3 years. If you want to learn more about Truebelly and what our mission is, you can check that out at truebelly.co. My other goal for Q1 was to hire a dog trainer for Clover, and we definitely did that. It was a success, and now we're going to continue doing lessons for both Luna and Clover to get them on the same page. And the fourth goal that I set for Q1 is to launch Simplify and Thrive, which is my intentional living course hosted inside of Notion. All of that is linked below. I would love for you to check it out. It is pretty much a culmination of everything that I talk about on here, and I teach it in a way that you're able to integrate and implement into your life with your own Notion dashboard, life hub, all the things. I'm feeling really proud of myself for getting the Q1 goals done. It makes sense. When you start out the year, you are normally pretty fired up. As time goes on, things start to drop off. So let's see how that's going for me. In Q2, I set the goal of legally changing my last name to Acree, which is my married last name. And I am happy to say that I've changed it on the documents that matter the most, such as my social security card and my driver's license. So that is done. Changing it over in all the other areas is gonna take a while. So that is in progress, but I consider it mentally kind of done because it's legally changed where it really matters. For Q3, I haven't started on these goals yet. My 500-hour yoga teacher training, I still plan on doing that, but part of me is not sure if I really want to prioritize it anymore. My priorities are kind of shifting and changing. This one is something that I would be okay if I moved it to next year. I would still like to go on a road trip out west, and I plan on making that happen, so keep you posted for Q3. Into Q4, I had the goal to grow my YouTube channel to 15,000 and my Instagram to 100K. While I don't like to focus too much on numbers, it does help give me a benchmark of, am I sharing enough valuable content to where people want to watch it? Am I being discovered by new people so that I can share the things that I really love with a wider audience? I'm really happy to say that we have met the goal of 15,000 on YouTube. We're actually surpassed that, almost at 17,000, and we're only halfway through the year. Couldn't be more grateful for that, and that is thanks to you all watching my videos. I am very grateful for you all taking interest in the content that I create. The last thing for Q4 is my special project, which is a goal that I still want to do, but I'm gonna move it to next year. So you can see the status here. I am changing it to next year. It's no longer a top goal for me, so I'm gonna remove it from my top goals list and move on. My final top goal for 2021 for my personal life is to schedule a 3 to 4 day break once per quarter, and so far I have done that. I've actually done more than that, and that has felt really, really good. I'm gonna click on completed goals, and you can see here at a glance the goals that I've considered as completed. And I don't want to bore you and read everything down the line, but you can kind of see at a glance here, I wanted to post more frequently on TikTok, on Reels. Towards the later half of Q2, I've definitely dropped off on that, but I think it's because I've been focusing so much on launching Simplify and Thrive and our digital decluttering challenge. As with most work things, it's gonna ebb and flow. So overall, I am proud of the amount of Reels and TikTok and YouTube videos that I've been putting out consistently. A big goal that I set was to rent a packing space for my online shop, The Homebodies, and we did that, and it has been great. It's been really nice having a separate space for me to pack orders and not have all the inventory stored in my guest room. I also set a goal to host quarterly challenges on Vibely, and as of a couple weeks ago, we launched the Vibely community. You can check out the link and sign up and join all the conversations, and it's not just quarterly, we're actually doing weekly challenges, and it's all tied in with the Slow Brew Sundays newsletter, which is my cozy little newsletter that I send out every Sunday, something that you can read while sipping on your favorite morning drink. So I would love for you to join those communities and join the conversations. Moving on to my current goals, you can see what I'm currently working on. So at the beginning of 2021, I set the goal to sign up for a Korean class, and I did end up paying for online lessons, but it was more of a DIY course versus having an actual teacher meet you face-to-face on camera and teach you. So after that experience, I've learned that I think I'm better suited for a face-to-face relationship versus a do-it-yourself course. I am looking at doing italki.com. My cousin recommended it to me, and that's something that I'm gonna look at doing in Q3. So I mark it as in progress because I have started learning with apps and different online tools, but overall I want to have a consistent meeting where like once a week I talk to this teacher and I start really learning. A little bit about that, I'm half Korean, and for the past year and a half I've almost exclusively have been watching Korean dramas, which I talk about a lot on here, and have been listening to Korean indie music, which has just opened a whole new world for me. Truly, Korean dramas are the best thing I've ever seen. The character development in Korean shows is just so much deeper than any Western show I've seen, and so I've actually just lost interest in keeping up with anything happening in the American space. And that's okay, because I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do. For so long, I've just neglected the Korean side of me or have felt some sense of shame, and it just feels like I'm reclaiming roots to my culture, and my mom and I are both doing this together, and it feels really nice to bond with her in those ways. Another goal that I am working on currently is learning how to longboard dance. I first learned that longboard dancing was even a thing when I saw a YouTube video of a Korean longboarder named Hyoju, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's what it sounds like. She's dancing on the longboard. It's very fluid and flowy and beautiful and elegant, and I would love to have that kind of confidence and balance and stability to be able to do that. So I've been practicing and learning different footwork, and oh my goodness, it's way harder than I ever could have imagined, but it's very humbling. To be continued. Maybe one of these days I'll upload a longboard dancing video. After reviewing my goals and looking through everything, I'd have to say that I'm really proud of myself because I have been checking off goals left and right, and I really truly believe it's because I have it in Notion, I have it written down somewhere. I take time at the end of every month to go back and look at my goals. I have things broken down by quarter, so by having it in different time blocks, it's making it more attainable for me to focus on. It feels really good to have a system to support me and to be able to know exactly what I'm looking for, because I took the time up front to set the goals, write it down, hold myself accountable, and that's how I know having a system works. Wherever you want to put that system, whether it's Notion, whether it's Asana, whether it's a notebook, whatever it is, find a place for it. Take the time up front to get it out of your brain and into this system so that you can focus on going after those goals rather than remembering what the goals are in the first place. That is just an update on my personal goals that I set for myself, and I encourage you to go through the journal prompts to check in with your own goals and see what you need to reassess and realign with. I have all of that linked down below in the description. You can find everything in your mid-year reset Notion link. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.